In this WrestleTalk news, WWE censors Roman Reigns, WWE returning to Saudi Arabia, my review of last night's Raw, and more. Give us a subscribe and enable notifications to always on, otherwise I'll throw a pizza cutter at you in the ring while you're celebrating.
Support WrestleTalk!
Last Friday's SmackDown saw the return of John Cena to the Blue brand, although I'm not entirely sure where he cut a John Cena promo and challenged Roman Reigns. So what he did on last Monday's Raw then? Reigns responded later in the night, denying the challenge, but not before cutting the very non-PG line, saying that John Cena is always the same time after time, that it's like the missionary position night after night. Sorry, I just, that's a bit of a triggering line for me, just with how, Megan broke up with me on the third time. Saying that in a public statement on MySpace. The promo was received incredibly well by fans, with many praising Roman for how more natural he came across in comparison to the last time Cena and Reigns feuded in 2017. So WWE have cut it out. In the YouTube version of the clip, the line is edited out entirely, and it skips ahead to the end of his promo when Finn Balor interrupts. There's a bit of YouTube behind the scenes secrets. There's no reason Roman's line would trigger demonetization or deranking, as it is relatively tame. It's a weird move to make, as you've already done it on TV in a presumably pre-approved script. If sponsors were going to take offense, they would have done so already. There's no YouTube reason to have edited out that clip. WrestleVotes reported earlier this year that WWE were looking to do at least one show in Saudi Arabia by the end of 2021, as they are contracted for 2 events a year there and haven't been able to put on one since last February's Super Showdown, where Ricochet was buried by Brock Lesnar in seconds. The Undertaker won the Tawake Mountain Trophy in a match he wasn't in. Goldberg defeated The Fiend for the Universal title, and Bobby Lashley was pinned by R-Truth. But maybe don't go back there. In an effort to get back on track with the deal, Andrew Zarian of the Mat Men podcast is reporting WWE will be returning to the Kingdom for a show on October 21st, as long as there are no restrictions at the time. Keith Lee made his on-screen return last Monday, losing to Bobby Lashley in his home state. And on last night's show, he lost again to Karrion Kross. So far, so not successful. There's speculation there could be some kind of heat on Lee for whatever issue took him out of action from February to July. Fightful wrote his absence was because of a medical reason, whereas PW Insider claimed it was actually down to creative. In the background of all of this, Lee was also in a trademark battle with WWE over ownership on his real name. Lee has repeatedly vaguely hinted at an explanation on Twitter, and shortly before Raw began last night, Lee posted again, "I've decided. I'm just going to tell you guys the story myself. Give me a week or two." Before we get on with my Raw review, back in January, we raised over $9,000 for the Mayo Clinic, the organisation that treated Brody Lee before he passed away last December. And one stipulation on Quizzlemania for whether we passed $5,000 or not was that Tempest would have to get a Jam That Jam tattoo. And now parlours are back open in Canada. He went and did just that.
Well, it's a beautiful day in downtown Toronto and a perfect day to get a Jam That Jam tattoo. I do wear this mask everywhere, it seems. Thank you, of course, to everyone who donated to our fundraiser for the Mayo Clinic after the passing of John Huber Brody Lee. Time to hold up my end of the bargain. Let's get a tattoo. The Jam That Jam tattoo, jammed to the printer.
I might hate you, Tempest, but even I can recognise courage and fine artistry when I see it. Can I get a thank you, Tempest? Tempest sucks chant going in the comments, while I review last night's episode of Raw in about 5 minutes. Goldberg, Karrion Kross, John Cena, Keith Lee, actual fans. We've had a lot of returns and debuts over the last 2 weeks, and now we can add one more to it. Raw's new augmented reality robot mascot that introduces video clips. Why a robot? Why anything in this company? The actual show opened with our new Raw Women's Champion Nikki A.S.H., who cut a promo about if you believe in yourself and work hard enough, you'll fluke a victory with the Money in the Bank cash-in. It's a great moral for kids. Before I get into this, I really like Nikki Cross. I don't know her, but she's always come across as one of the most naturally affable people in the roster. This is not a criticism at her or her performance. It's a criticism of the booking. Her almost a superhero character is not working for me. I'm too old for this kind of S-word. But that's fine. Not everything can be made for me, even though it would be way better that way. It's for the children. Won't somebody please think of the children? The problem is, WWE haven't done that either. As usual, they're thinking about Charlotte Flair. Nikki's almost a superhero gimmick no longer works when she becomes the Raw Women's Champion. She now has to fully believe in herself and beat people. She has to be Nikki, a superhero. Otherwise, you're an undeserving champion that only got it because of a fluke cash-in. That is not the trait of a noble babyface. Charlotte Flair, the heel in heels, effectively said this in her interrupting promo, and Rhea Ripley also came out to try and make a triple threat for SummerSlam, which was then booked. Definitely not Raw general managers Adam Pearce and Sonya Deville then booked a championship contenders match for the main event between Flair and Nikki. Don't know what a championship contenders match is? Well, strap in, because it's about to be hammered into the ground. A championship contenders match is much like the far superior #1 contenders match, just with the champion in it instead. This is ineffective for two reasons. A, it means we'll get repeat matchups, and two, the champion could lose. Thankfully, Sheamus losing to Damian Priest in their hard-hitting championship contenders match kind of made sense. Priest knocked off Sheamus's face mask, leading to Damian getting the win, and a future shot at the United States title. It's great to see Sheamus getting to have fantastic TV matches again, and now with fans, who made some of the near falls incredibly dramatic. AJ Styles and Omos defended their belts in a straight-up championship match against the Viking Raiders next. Eric and Ivar had a good game plan. Don't let that tall guy in. But Omos is inevitable, and the champions retained. Quick! Jinder Mahal needs another heel gimmick. He debuted his personal lawyer to sue Drew for beating up Shanky last week. Drew didn't care and just beat up Veer in a bit of a sloppy match instead. The finish weirdly came when Jinder slid in a chair for Veer to use, but Drew had a claymore on it to his face, which the ref called a DQ win for McIntyre. Yet a new inconsistency for WWE rules. Natalya and Tamina beat Eva Marie and Doudrop next in another championship contenders match, but only because Eva was distracted by a mock Lily Lucian video where Alexa Bliss's supernatural puppet was edited into motivational images. That was actually the most I think I've ever enjoyed Lily. Natty appeared to genuinely hurt her leg in the match and was helped to the back afterwards. Kind of like a championship contenders match, next up, we got a losers contenders stip, where Keith Lee took on Karrion Kross, both guys who spectacularly lost on last week's episode. This was presumably originally going to be Kross getting revenge on Jeff Hardy, but Hardy had tested positive for COVID, ruling him out of the show. They went about 5 minutes, and neither guy really got to show what made them so special in NXT. Kross tapped out Lee with the straight jacket choke. It's the Retribution reunion you didn't know you wanted. Mason T-Bar then took on their former leader Mustafa Ali with his new tag team partner Mansoor. Mason T-Bar are painfully cringy, but I'm finding myself really into Mansoor and Ali's budding friendship. It was Mansoor who helped Ali most, and he even got the surprise roll-up win on Mace. I'm excited to see where their act goes next. But then it was time for the Hurt Business reunion you didn't want. Bobby Lashley and MVP pretty much turned down Goldberg's challenge, so we're getting the exact same story here as Reigns and Cena on SmackDown, complete with managers and part-timer opponents. So Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin came down to challenge Bobby instead. Lashley beat them both at the same time in a handicap match with Goldberg's trademark spear and jackhammer. It was super easy, barely an inconvenience. Riddle got probably the biggest pop of the night from the crowd, showing how over he's gotten himself. So he lost to John Morrison, and AJ Styles and Omos distracted him by snapping his scooter in half. AJ continued to beat up Riddle afterwards, presumably starting a Styles and Omos versus Riddle and Orton feud for the tag titles heading into SummerSlam. Reginald retained his 24/7 title against R-Truth via jumping, and the main event saw another championship contenders match with Charlotte taking on Nikki ASH, where Jimmy Smith said Nikki isn't afraid to fail. Good, because she did. Pretty hard. Charlotte dominated the 10-minute match and then rolled through Nikki's lame finisher, the top rope crossbody, to win. Seemingly like the show had accidentally run short, both women then cut needless promos setting up a rematch for next week that had already been set up. That was the whole point of the championship contenders match, that if Charlotte won, she'd get a title shot. And Nikki, the current Raw Women's Champion, actually said the line, "I showed myself, I almost could have won." Raw actively makes me dumber. What did you think of Raw? Let me know in the comments down below, or vote in a poll on a poll match on the community tab, where 77% of you have gone for Nikki isn't a very good superhero. This was a terrible episode. Not only is Nikki's character not working with the title, it's yet again being trampled on by the Charlotte train. Woo, woo. I hate championship contenders matches, and I just want Keith Lee to win some stuff. This week's Raw is 2 out of 5. Make WrestleTalk.com your homepage for all the latest breaking wrestling news, and watch Adam Blompier's latest top 10 video, 10 times wrestling fans invaded a show.
As we turn a pretty significant corner in how watchable wrestling's about to become, perhaps a quick reminder that fans aren't always peaches and rainbows. Basically, this list is a public service reminder for people not to be a dick, which is secretly what all of our lists are about. Don't be a dick. I'm Adam, hailing from Parts Unknown, and here are 10 times wrestling fans invaded the show.